On me. Oh,
Oh, let me hit this opening thing. Be back in 10 minutes. That is obscenely long, isn't it?
it was louder than I remember.
Yeah. I have some work to do on the whole.
But my headphones might be hotter than usual, as my mic may
I'm gonna
also
blame
be.
your mic.
Huh?
I'm gonna blame your mic.
Sure. I think I have
So,
my volume turned up.
so how you doing? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm good. Good. Look at Dom.
It's been a whole week. Dom's all ready to go.
Charles, Dom already in the chat.
Thank you,
Welcome,
thank you,
gentlemen.
thank you, guys.
Dom got some big news for us this week. He's going to drop on us in the chat.
Yes, he is.
Um,
We'll relay that big news
in a bit. We'll get there. But yeah, I'm doing good. You know, busy couple weeks. The last few, I got my kids are doing a musical at school this week, so I'm all hung up on Shrek Junior. So I've been doing prep work with that stuff, and then just running around trying to catch up on whatever shows and movies are kicking around that we're still missing.
Are you involved in like the actual production of the Shrek 2, or are you just
No, I'm like helping out with like building stuff. There's much more creative, handy people than me that are doing a lot of that stuff. I'm like, what can I pick up and where can I put it down?
Gotcha.
That would be
Kind of like me
super
and the
helpful for me.
Rockets.
And then I had a bunch of gigs the week before, which were all a blast. Being back at some of my favorites, and
You're picking up and putting stuff down like I did in the Rockets for
yeah.
years.
Except for you would throw stuff into
I
fountains.
never ever threw any as the text I got from Derek the other day was really funny. Derek sent me and Simon and CT and Pete, I think that was it, a text, and he was cleaning out something and he found his old DJ rig
Yeah.
with the Rockets logos and stickers and stuff on the front, and he sent us a picture. Look what I found. And my reply was, "That's awesome. I really hate remembering how I would gently pick it up and gently place it in the truck every evening after work. I'm glad I never have to gently." I said gently like 18 times, and Simon loved it.
You guys never did anything gently.
No,
But
no.
It's been pretty slow. Watched some new stuff. Started catching up on Poker Face.
Poker Face.
Yeah, with Natasha Lyonne.
Okay.
Benjamin Bratt.
I watched one new thing.
But that show's pretty. So that show, it's getting a lot of great hype. It feels just like a USA show. Like it feels like a Monk, a Burn Notice.
Oh,
and they even reference all of the like NBC, USA, and Bravo properties during the show.
Oh, really?
Like they pulled out like this guy's like Michael Weston. I was like, and they said from Burn Notice, and I was like, you really just referenced Burn Notice on another show? That's very meta.
Yeah, I like when they do that.
So it was it's fun so far though. We're a few episodes in. How about you, man?
Can you see that? You can't see that. That's not going to work.
No, what was that?
I showed you a picture of my Star Wars AT-AT walker that
no, yeah, you'd have to pull up your gallery.
Nah, we won't do that.
Well, you finished one in the meantime, didn't you? Finished like 3.
So far I've finished the Millennium Falcon. I finished the Razor Crest.
Okay.
And now I'm working on the AT-AT, and supposedly the Star Destroyer is on its way today.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, well, I'm back at work next week, so that's all good. That's a whole other thing.
And did you already beat your Hogwarts Legacy game?
I beat mostly the main stuff, and then Destiny released its Lightfall that kind of sucked.
Got it.
Sucked. No, I'm watching, I'm caught up on the Picard, and I'll talk about that later on. And I started something new tonight.
Oh.
I got an episode in. I don't know how I feel about it. Chip, I am playing Hogwarts. Hello, Chip in the chat. I am playing Hogwarts Legacy. I will not say anything spoilery about it. Hi, Mike Jansen. It's Mike Jansen.
Look at that.
I have played Hogwarts and I've gone through the entire quest as a Slytherin. I am at the very, very I beat the actual main story, and there's one more thing that you have to do when you do a whole bunch of stuff. Again, I'm being vague on purpose because I don't want to spoil the game.
Yeah, I'm somewhere through it, and I keep falling asleep playing it. It's so exciting. I can't help
Well,
myself.
it's a very long. There's a lot of repetitive stuff in it. I'm enjoying it. The world is beautifully, beautifully done.
It's great. It's not for not being an online game.
Right.
It's not as gorgeous as God of War, which is what I
Right.
expected with how long it took to come out. It
Right.
doesn't have those landscapes that you get from that game. It's fine though. It reminds me of Elder Scrolls. Like the graphics aren't a whole lot better than Oblivion.
Now, so my friend is playing it. He just finished building like a brand new PC with like the most up to date graphics card that's out there. He
Yeah.
has the Snag one. He said it's night and day from playing
Oh,
the console. It's
okay.
he said it's breathtaking.
Yeah, it's not, and that's on.
You're locked. You're locked in the frames.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I literally had one point today. My kids got home from school and were watching me, and I was playing it, and he was like, "Did you mean to fall off that cliff and get into the water?" I said, "No, I fell asleep while I was walking."
I see, that's why I used a broom to fly everywhere.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
I just abracadabra everyone.
got it.
I know that's not the name of the spell, but um yeah, see, Chip is a huge Potterhead, and as he said in the chat, he's playing on the Xbox like I am, and he thinks that it's absolutely gorgeous, and they got the game right. They did, and I know a little bit about the lore, and like I'm not. I read the books, I saw the movies, but I never like went as deep into it as say Star Trek or Star Wars. But everything that I've seen online from people that aren't complaining about it for whatever reasons. There's nothing but rave reviews. It sold like 20 million copies in the first week or
Oh
something like
yeah,
that.
it's doing well.
It's doing sensational. The developers originally said they weren't going to put any DLC out, and I explained this to Chip in a Facebook post. For super deep nerdy gamers, DLC is downloadable content, meaning it's extra content for the game after a game's release. That would be something like Quidditch or additional quests or a whole nother storyline. There are plans for it, but it's like they're not really paying attention to that yet. They're kind of making sure the game runs smooth and they get all the bugs that they can, which is good. As for what did I watch? I started History of the World Part 2.
Oh, 2 episodes dropped at midnight, right?
Yes, so I got I got through one episode.
Okay.
It's chuckle funny. And it there are times where it tries to be cringe, but still being not like the original.
Well, yeah, you can't be like the
There's a
original.
fine line. I mean, they do Hitler on Ice, which like in the beginning, Mel Brooks has this big thing where he says he didn't want to do he didn't want to revisit the original and redo stuff, and then like
Right.
that was the only one little thing they did. There's just about everybody under the sun is in this. I mean, I'm not even going to go through the list of actors because if you name it, you throw a dart and hit an actor's name
Right.
in that genre, and they're all in it. It's really it's funny in parts. It's
Okay.
not laugh every single. And again, I've only seen one episode.
Yeah, but so is the movie.
right.
Like it wasn't nonstop belly laugh. It was
No,
here and there. So
And there are moments where you just go, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did that." But it's not, and again, you're not going to get it as on the nose as it was back then because it's a different world.
yeah, it's on my list to catch up. I mean, it's weird their release pattern for it because they're releasing 2 episodes a day for the rest of the week.
Yeah, that's a really weird strategy. And it's
Yes.
on Hulu, so they're letting fly with curses. So they're not like
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't slow roll that so you get the talk about it unless it's not that strong and they need to knock it out in a week.
Yeah.
Because I think we've established that going back to weekly releases of things
Yeah.
really builds up the conversation around them. as opposed to a one and done like almost everything else that we've watched on
Yeah,
Netflix and streaming anymore, where it's like, hey, well, that show was on. It
right,
was good. All right,
right.
next.
Which is why part of the reason why The Last of Us has been such a thrill because it's a weekly thing and it's not here's
Right.
all what is it 9 episodes, right? There's one left.
Yeah. Yeah. Only one left.
Only one left. We'll get to that again later in the show. We'll get to that in the Mandalorian, closer to the end. Um, Tom Sizemore passed away.
He did.
He had a brain aneurysm back in February, and he passed away at the age of 61. He's definitely had an up and down, in and out of trouble kind of a career and life. Um, I mean, it was like 229 credits to his name.
Yeah, he didn't really care the last like 20 years. He just it was like Bruce Willis. Whatever you got, I'm in
Yeah.
it. Sure, I'll show up.
Yep. Yep.
And I feel like they got weirder and weirder. He also got into voice acting, if I remember right, and did a decent amount of voiceover stuff.
He did. He did. Um, he was in Heat and Saving Private Ryan were two of the movies I like that blow up in my face that I remember him from.
Yeah, I was always a fan. I mean, he always had that intensity
Yeah.
when he
Oh yeah.
needed it, and he always played the great gangster,
Yep. Yep.
or enforcer, and that was just kind of always his niche, right? And except for those movies that, as you mentioned, when he popped up in Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down,
He
stuff
was
like that. Other than that, a lot of the movies he just played this
no,
enforcer type. It
oh,
was always fantastic
Jack
at it.
left.
Yeah, 259 on IMDb.
259. He was also Sonny Forelli in Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yes, which is the best of the Grand Theft Autos.
And it actually is. It's so I got the port for it on Xbox when it came out, and I was real excited. And then it was such a letdown. Then when I went, I had some dead video game time and went back to the PlayStation 5 and grabbed it from the PlayStation Store for free.
Oh.
It was really a better play.
Yeah, yeah. That was one of the better ones that they made. Like
Yeah,
in general, games in general that just really held up.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Big movie came out this week.
The boxing one?
The Jonathan Majors, Creed 3? Yeah,
Creed. Yeah, how much money can he make at the box office at the same time? Yeah. Unfortunately, one of them's shit in the bed, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's not Creed. Well, Creed 3, so I have we have a mutual friend. Well, I'm more I don't know. You know Tony. Saw him at Comic-Con dressed as Apollo Creed.
Yes, sir.
Goes to all the Phillies game. Tony Penicalli's like one of the Philly super fans. He's all over the place. He actually was a boxer growing up. Like really went in Atlantic City and was like really boxed. So he went to see it, and his review was a little. Yeah,
there's Dom dropping his score.
Yeah, Dom saw it, and Dom's review on Facebook was pretty spot on. I haven't seen it yet, but from his review kind of lines up with what most people are saying.
Yeah, Dom gave it a 6.5 for the audio people.
I think getting away from Stallone is a mistake, but I understand what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to set this universe off on their own. He's trying to take this character and drive him off on his own.
Yeah, but do we need another universe?
No.
I think that's the real question, right?
No, we don't.
Because we're at the point where everything is a franchise or an expanded universe, and it's just I have such high expectations of all of those things now.
Yep.
Because I've had time to work out what I want their storyline to be, and they don't do it. I did hear some interesting new feedback on Ant-Man and the Wasp and the end of it on Quantumania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can hold that if you want, or we can hit it. It's not.
Go ahead.
It's somewhat spoilery, but look, if you're listening to this show, you probably already saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, no, throw it out.
Or read enough about it. So at the end, when good guys win, and that's not even a spoiler because it's a Marvel movie, and that's just how it always works now. The thought is that possibly that's an alternate timeline now, which is why everything's great, but Scott's like, but is it?
Yeah,
I don't know. And that everybody in the background is now wearing like purple and green.
Yep. I
and
saw
is in
that.
Kang colors and everything, so that maybe this is a different timeline and the real one didn't end as well. Uh, which is a little more interesting than what we got. But we'll see if we go that way.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
Um, okay. Um, yeah. As far as Creed 3 goes, I'm in no rush to run out and see it, even though I get even though I get the free movie a month thing, or the three, what is it, 3 movies a month or what?
Yeah, yeah, your AMC,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm in
AMC
no
club.
rush to see it. I know that there's a lot going on behind the scenes with Erwin Winkler and Sylvester Stallone, and him owning the rights, and Stallone not knowing what he was doing back in the day because he was new to Hollywood and he signed over what he shouldn't have signed over, but he didn't know any better and he had no one advising him. And yeah, as Dom just said in the chat, that they drew a lot of inspiration from anime during the fights because Michael B. Jordan's a big anime fan, so he took a lot of that and he directed it and starred in it.
Yeah.
I heard Jonathan Majors was fantastic, but I'm in no rush to see it. But Michael B. Jordan, left the door open for Stallone to come back for Creed 4, which is going to happen.
Of course it is.
Of course, it is.
And Dom, I'd seen that, and it might have been your review even, where I saw that Michael Jordan's acting was meh. I think he got too focused in on the directing piece, and it's not an easy balancing act to play. Especially for a first time. This is a pretty big movie to decide to be the first time director of.
Yeah, that's a huge one. You just expressed your dislike for how everything is becoming a universe and a cinematic
Oh, what you got?
connection. I got another one for you. How about The Lord of the Rings is going to become a Star Wars type franchise now?
Oh, I saw this, and it's not tied to the Amazon Prime stuff, though, right?
It's going to be both, actually. It's going to be so. Lord of the Rings is reported to become a Star Wars like movie franchise for Warner Brothers Discovery and Amazon as they produce new films. So Amazon is going to keep doing the show, but Warner Brothers Discovery is going to do films.
Right. So they don't have a singular voice though that's going to
Correct.
guide it all. So we're just going to get a bunch of crap that's in Lord of
As
the Rings that isn't
they
lined
so
up.
so they did ask Peter Jackson to come back. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. Sam and Frodo's story is done, so you
Yeah,
can't go back and revisit that.
I don't understand, for as much as Amazon paid for those rights, how anybody else can do anything with it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
Like
sure
billions they paid for the rights for that.
there's pockets of timeline stuff that you can probably fit stories into, but
It's,
I don't have any interest in it personally.
no, look, and I enjoyed Rings of Power.
I haven't touched it yet.
I know you haven't. What's up to Dr. Mad Studio from across the pond, by the way?
Hey, over in
Good,
Britain.
good to see you. So I enjoyed Rings of Power, but it's going to be 3 years till another season comes out. So I really won't care by then, or 2 years, however long it'll be.
What's
It's going to
coming
be a
out
long time.
first? House of the Dragons or that?
They'll probably be the same year again, but that's not till 2025. So who
Right,
cares?
right, right.
Maybe late 2024. And then I'll have forgotten all about it because nothing was memorable about it, and it's hard enough keeping track of shows that are and regular series
Right.
running with a 4-month break,
Running,
to try and remember where we got back to.
running.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there soon. It's yeah. Um, but yeah, it's and I enjoy that world. But are you gonna bring good enough writers to add to the mythos? Because I think that's the biggest problem we're running into with all of these franchises now, especially with the way Marvel's doing things, is they keep bringing in new writers and fresh writers, and there's a reason that the established guys are so good at what they do,
Right,
and we're established guys, as opposed
right.
to trying to bring in all these new perspectives that are like, I'm going to make it like this. And then you're like, well, that wasn't very good. You could
No,
have,
and I
tied
agree.
things back together, or actually told us a good story instead of worrying about Easter eggs and cameos. Cause that's where most of these things are at now. There's no actual quality to the story.
No, I have zero idea with or zero interest in watching any other Lord of the Rings content right now. Maybe the Rings of Power I'll get to, but I have a lot of other stuff on my plate, plus stuff that you and Dom like to needle me about that I don't watch still constantly.
Yeah, and Gotham Knights is coming out soon, so,
Ugh,
you know, you gotta watch
I'm done.
that.
I'm done. The Arrowverse is over. It's done. I'm done. I don't need to go back and revisit it. I'll read the reviews online at how awful that is.
I need you for the next 9 Flash episodes, though. I do.
I'm hanging in. It's becoming a hate watch. It's becoming a hate watch.
Oh, it's like I'm like 3 years into that now.
Yeah. Um. So Sons of Anarchy, right? The
I've heard of it.
Mayans is coming to an end with this
Yeah.
season that I have to catch up on. I'm behind a season, but Theo Rossi, who played Juice Ortiz in the
Yeah.
original series, he just teased something interesting.
Mm.
I'm not sure how interesting you'll find it, but he said when he was talking to Deadline about another project, he said that there might be something coming up where we're all back together, which is insane. Charlie Hunnam is going to announce something soon. If it happens, it's wild. But if it doesn't, it would be perfect and really cool because we also talk every day. So it's a tease that maybe there's some kind of Sons of Anarchy something coming back. Now, I don't know how that happens because one, spoiler alert, he's dead.
As far as we know,
You drive head first into an oncoming tractor trailer, you're most of the way dead.
it's
I'm
hard to
afraid.
be that awful of a dad. That's why I couldn't stand the show.
Yeah, I know. And it's one of my top 10 shows of all time.
I know, but you like Yellowstone too, and I'm finally caught up on that, and that's still trash.
You do. Um,
I did. I finally caught up. It was a lot of work, but I got there.
yeah, and I know you're not as into it as
Oh
I
my god,
am.
it's
I have to start
the
1923.
the way they treat the female characters on that show is disgusting.
It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Um, I don't remember. Did you watch Billions? Were you in
I watched the first couple seasons, and then it just I couldn't stick with it.
Well, maybe come back because Damian Lewis is coming back.
Oh,
Bobby Axelrod
is this to the
coming back
show,
to
or
the
is he
show.
coming back?
He's coming back to season 7.
Okay.
He originally left the show. His wife passed away during COVID, or I think during COVID, and he did most of his work remotely. He was mostly on TV screens and not much in person with him. And he lives in England, and he wanted to kind of go back and be over there. And now it looks like he's coming back, so he can duke it out with Corey Stoll, and
Look, I'd like the show to get canceled so Giamatti can start doing like movies again.
he could just
Because I love him as a movie actor.
he could
And
split Kevin Costner.
jeez.
I mean, Paul Giamatti was great in Big Mama's House. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I mean, look, he was phenomenal in the movie Duets that nobody remembers.
No, wow.
Look, I'll pull Duets any day of the week. That's
Apparently-
one of the most underrated movies ever.
Cobra Kai season 6 is going to get started filming soon. I didn't know that they had not started filming it yet. I thought they were.
Well, that won't take long.
They're writing the scripts now.
Yeah, there you go. Jack McGinney.
John
Rolling it with
Adams?
John Adams.
Was he John Adams?
He was in the miniseries on HBO.
But he was Big Mama's. He was in Big Mama's house.
Yeah. I think we have different spots of him we remember.
So it looks like May they're going to start filming.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No, they're writing the scripts now, so that should probably be out turn of the year.
Jack McGinney with the IMDb like knowledge of Paul Giamatti in the chat.
Now, was he tremendous, or is there a film called Tremendous that he was in? I'm not sure. I don't know how that works. We also got a what is it? Ted Lasso's back soon, right?
Next week.
Is it next week?
Next Wednesday.
And they're weekly too, right? They don't drop. Or
They are weekly. Apple TV drops pretty much everything weekly.
Okay.
Which reminds me, I got to add Shrinking onto my list.
Thank you, Jack. He was tremendous. He was not in Tremendous.
And he is in the most annoying commercials ever.
Yes.
I'll have to talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, please, Jack. Please. So the trailers for season 3 look pretty good. I'm excited for it to come back. Gives me something else to watch.
Yeah,
Something
I've only seen the one because I don't want to see any other previews. But yeah, it's as long as they don't start do what everything else does and be like, we're gonna go dark.
So my thought, and I've only seen the one trailer too. I haven't thanks Pete. Haven't watched any other stuff but I have a hey, there's my dog. I have a funny feeling that by the end of the season, you're going to get a Ned redemption because that seems to be what the show's all about, right?
Yeah. Cheers to Dr. Mad Studio heading out, by the way.
Thank you for chiming in. Just grab the podcast later and listen to the rest of the stuff you missed, man. That's awesome. But
yeah, I would take a redemption arc, but I just like I said, I hope it doesn't do what so many of these other shows do, and it's just like let's see how dark we can continue to get.
I don't see that show as a dark show though. I mean, I know they went dark with Nate a little bit, but I still don't. I don't think they go any darker than that. That's aside from Nate hating Ted.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't. Because I mean, you can look if you change like 2 or 3 lines in an episode, and the show goes a completely different direction really fast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Star Trek Discovery.
Oh yeah, this is all you, man. This is your universe.
Star Trek Discovery season 5 will be the last. Yeah. So I'm going to pause that and reply to Jack. Jack just said in the chat that he's not happy he has to watch Boba Fett to bridge Mandalorian seasons.
Only like half of it, though.
Yeah, you really can skip all of the Boba Fett parts until he shows up.
Until the Mandalorian, I think is what the episode's called, right?
Yeah, I think so. Just look up which episodes that he's in. Watch those episodes, and you don't have to watch the rest of the Boba Fett stuff.
Yeah,
really not worth it.
Like 5, 6, and 7, I think, is all you have to watch because the show was only 7 episodes, I think.
Right, and it was 4 episodes too long,
and literally nothing happened in the first 4 episodes, so you're good.
No.
But the first episode back where he cuts to the Mandalorian was probably the best episode of the Mandalorian that's ever been on TV.
Right.
Even through now. So yeah, I would go watch that.
Right. So back to Star Trek. Star Trek Discovery season 5 will be the last season of that episodic series.
Okay.
They decided to end it at 5, so they're going to have to go back and kind of reshoot some scenes to kind of give them a closing. They didn't plan on stopping at 5. I think Paramount pulled the plug on it. And it's good. It's time for it to stop.
Look, 5 seasons on a streamer is great.
Yeah. And this is this got too far away from the now, and they're so far ahead in technology and stuff that like stuff just appears in their hands, and like it's weird, and I enjoy it. I really do.
So did this time jump or something? Because wasn't this pre Star Trek?
Yeah. So for those not watching Star Trek Discovery, it's far enough out now. The series was set in between the 10 years between Pike and Kirk.
Okay.
It was set before Kirk took over the Enterprise.
Got it.
They actually introduced Pike and Spock in Discovery at the end of season 2.
Right. I knew that. That's why I was just confused when you said there was
at the end of season 2, they time jumped 900 years into the future.
Got it.
To stop some calamity from happening. And it kind of freed them up from that they only have a limited amount of space and time to tell stories with this advanced ship. So they got them away from that. And it was good. It was good storytelling. I'm happy to see it ending because anything more than what they've done would be a slog to get through. It would start to get really hard to watch.
Got it.
Season 1 was rough for a lot of people. And it was, it was. Picard now, on the other hand, this has been some of the best TV that I have watched Star Trek wise in such a long time. Strange New Worlds is a great series. 1, 2, 3. So 3 episodes so far, and it's felt like one long Wrath of Khan episode.
Oh, all right.
It's so good. So the names, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry. There's 4 episodes are out. The names of the episodes so far, and again, I won't spoil anything if anybody's going to watch them, is the first episode was called The Next Generation. A lot of a lot of Picard and Riker. Really good.
Okay.
The second episode was called Disengaged. The third episode, 17 Seconds. The fourth episode, actually, I'm sorry, there is only 3. The fourth episode coming up has the best name ever, No Win Scenario. And it is, again, it's so Wrath of Khan-like. The one big bad that's engaging with them on the space side of things is I don't remember her name, but she played Honey Bunny in Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
In the diner scene. She's the bad guy. She's sensational so far. Like, she's so good.
Amanda Plummer.
Yes. Oh my God, she's so good.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and last episode was a Jonathan Frakes directed episode. It was really, really good.
Yeah, he's a great director.
I absolutely love him as a director. So the show so far has been it's been absolutely outstanding.
Awesome. Yeah, it's I didn't have Paramount Plus for the longest time, and then there's so much that I want to catch up on there. I just haven't been able to dig in.
Yep.
And catch up on stuff. Now I got stuff coming back like in a week because I think Yellow Jackets is back in like 2 weeks.
I actually saw something about that.
Oh, did you?
That it was coming back.
You would love that show.
Is that the cartoon one? No, that's the Ex Machina one,
No.
right?
That's Legends of Vox Machina, which is also great.
Right. Close enough.
Yellow Jackets is with Juliette Lewis and Melanie Linsky. And,
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and all of the people that did all the things when we were in the 90s.
Right. All the good stuff, all the good fun stuff.
Yeah.
We'll go to the DC stuff.
Ooh.
Unless you had something before that.
No. I'm so excited because that means we get to talk about your shirt in so many ways.
I'll do that third.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves has confirmed that he's spoken to James Gunn about Constantine 2.
Sure.
Okay. That's that.
Yeah. It's can be in Elseworlds, whatever. Don't care. It's going to be too confusing for people that aren't in this world of being like, why is there so many Constantines? Because there's no reason to not bring Constantine into the Swamp Thing movie.
Right. Did we see the Swamp Thing in the Mandalorian?
Yes.
Oh. So here's
that was Man Thing.
Man Thing. Here's a little bit of new details about Michael Keaton's Batman in the Flash movie, which is looking to be really kind of good.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, here's what we get. When Barry Allen arrives in an alternate 2013, so he's going back to 2013.
Sure.
He urgently seeks out the expertise of his friend and mentor, Bruce Wayne. But the one he finds in the multiverse is different on all fronts. Older.
Wait. So now he's traveling with his alternate.
No.
Person.
I think this is the first travel back.
Because okay.
I'm assuming this is the first travel. It might not be. He may have gone all the way back, grabbed his other self, come forward to 2013. That sounds about more right.
Sure.
So he's older, long retired from service as Gotham's protector, and somehow even more hardened than the billionaire superhero Barry has grown to know. When with a global threat on the horizon, Bruce Wayne must decide whether he can become Batman once more.
It seems like he's been waiting based on the trailer.
Right.
He has all of the things.
Look,
let's just get there. This goes back to what I was talking about. Like, let's just get there. Let's get it done.
Right.
I have expectations of the movie. The trailer looks good. However, I don't know if I care.
It's hard to care unless they work this reset into the movie. Like,
which I don't think they're going to.
I don't think they're going to because of Aquabro coming out.
Yeah, well, and Shazam. Let's all. I mean, we'll all forget about Shazam,
right?
But Shazam comes out like next week,
right,
or this week, and it looks so bad.
That's a Philly movie.
Every trailer they release looks worse.
Do you think that
It
we
gets
could
me
build,
less interested in this movie.
do you think we should build a statue of Shazam like we did Rocky?
No,
He saved
no, because
saves the city.
the only place that he's in Philly is in these movies. He's not from Philly.
I know. I know.
He's from Fawcett City.
I'm not really excited about Shazam at all.
I loved the first one. Like loved it. I thought it was great. I still have trouble with the fact that the kid Asher Blue or whatever his name is,
Mhm.
Asher, what's his name? Ash Ketchum, the kid that plays him.
I think.
It's not Ash Ketchum.
Isn't that Pokemon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, you
it's
got
Asher
me.
Angel, I think is actually the name of the kid that plays him.
Sure.
That plays Billy Batson. But like the the Shazam character is the adult version of Billy Batson.
Right.
There's no reason that the adult Shazam would be this much dumber and more jokey
But he's
comedy, like funny, and you know what I mean, slapsticky than the teenager
funny, haha.
who plays totally not like, like more of a hard character. He's like raised on the streets and I'm a tough guy and this, that, and the other, like all this stuff. And then you get like Zachary Levi, who's like, this is so cool and everything. And he's playing it like a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a great take on the character, but it's not a great take for the young actor they have doing it. It just doesn't line up for me.
I understand that.
And this new one looks so, oh, look, everybody lost their powers. Oh, it's down to you. Oh, you're getting corrupted. Oh, no, let's shoot with the blue lens and make everything dark. And we'll make your costume black. It'll be so innovative. Yay.
The other show that we're both so invested in.
Oh, I love it. It's so good.
At this point it feels like a goddamn job.
Oh my God, it's so good.
So before we talk about it, the series finale date has been revealed.
Oh, thank God.
They just wrapped the other day, final shooting ever, last day on set. I was watching some Instagram stuff, and it's sad to watch these actors that you've gone on this journey with leave their jobs that they should have left after
Grant
season
Gustin will be the Flash on the movies in like a week. It's fine.
Well, they should have they should have left their jobs after season 3. But anyway, you're gonna love this. The series finale,
Yeah.
episode 13,
Yeah.
will air Wednesday, May 24th.
That's not soon enough. Wait.
May
Episode 4 now?
24th.
All right, so there's only like they're gonna have like a 1 week off. That's fine.
They're gonna have a few hiatuses. The first one will happen after episode 6.
Yeah, but they're only like 1 or 2 weeks because you only have
Right.
what 12 weeks left until then.
Right.
Not even. There's
And how many
probably
episodes do we have left? Are we on
9?
9?
9. We're on episode 4. So there's that's fine. We'll a
So
week or 2
more,
off.
2 more weeks, a week off, then probably an episode or 2.
Everybody takes a week during March Madness, so that's normal.
Right. How are you enjoying Red Death?
Oh my God, it's so bad. Like the Red Death character is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the way that they're playing it.
Mm-hmm.
So spoilers, but this has been all over the internet. That Red Death is being played by a multiversal version of Javicia Leslie's Batwoman from the show. The work she did season 2 and 3 of Batwoman was fantastic. Yeah, I loved it. The show was great. It was very Gotham in its vibes, where they like leaned into just being ridiculous,
right?
But still managed to pull off a lot of these stories with like character development. There was actually arcs, which is rare for a CW show. The writers' room for Batwoman was great. And they pulled in all the Batman villains like in a way that made them new and exciting, other than just being, oh, it's Crisis, it's a new face. But the what they've done to her on this show is so sad, and like I feel awful for the actress because she's really good, and maybe she's just in there and like I'm just gonna ham it up as much as I can, and who cares because this show's awful. But they're paying me a check.
So she's not the big bad of the season, though.
No.
Like, they have Matt Letcher and Teddy Sears are coming in the back half of the season.
Yeah, that's fine. That's normal.
Right.
for the show. Look, if it's not Reverse Flash at the end of the season, it's not a season of the Flash. There's been so many seasons where even the last 3 years, it wasn't Reverse Flash until the last episode. And they're like, surprise! Look, it's
Well,
Reverse Flash again.
so now, according to what this is saying, spoilers possibly, but their set photos have already been revealed. So, Rick Cosnett, who was,
Who?
he was a Thawne.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah. Eddie was already back last season.
Yes, but he's going to be the final villain.
It's fine.
He's not Reverse Flash.
No, he's Cobalt Blue.
He's Cobalt Blue.
Yeah. They already set that up at the end of last season. You didn't watch. You didn't get to enjoy the hate watch.
I did. I watched the final 3 episodes.
Yeah, but the show is every time that I think the writers have gotten as bad as they could with the show, they really step up their game.
They just hold my beer.
So if you're not enjoying the hideousness that is Flash this season with us, and what they've done with Red Death, aka Batwoman, they keep giving her lines, famous lines from Batman movies.
God, I wanted to kill.
Destroy. So far, we've gotten the. Oh crap! What was the one we got?
Want to get nuts?
No, that was this one.
Oh.
No, vengeance. I am vengeance.
Yes,
is her tagline in this. I'm like, no, that's from the new Batman movie. You can't keep using that.
So she is vengeance.
Yeah. I am justice. I am whatever. I am vengeance. And then
this past week was, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah. And so I don't know what her quote will be next week.
Hopefully
from another Batman movie.
Make it a Val Kilmer quote.
But that's where we're at with this show. It's so crazy. We did, Pete.
We did mention Tom Sizemore at the beginning of the show, yes.
So yeah, that's but it's so bad. But I really encourage everybody to just go enjoy the horribleness that is the Flash. You don't have to know anything, because it doesn't matter if you did or not, because none of the storylines are interesting anyway.
Nope, not at all.
They are cramming.
Yo, if she, as Dom just pointed out in the chat, she should bust out the Batman credit card. If she pulls out a Batman credit card, all is forgiven.
Or she might get some shark repellent spray.
All is forgiven.
But yeah, I would say go enjoy the awfulness. Where they're even trying to cram. They even are writing so badly that they forgot that Danielle Panabaker is playing a new character, and they forgot to write the new character's name into this episode, and just had everybody call her Caitlin instead of Keon, which is her new name.
Right.
Which it's oh my god, it's so bad.
Side note, before we're not going to talk about this yet, but I have to bring this up. My sister, my middle sister Joanna, and her husband and their 2 girls drove to Florida.
Okay? Oh,
so the 11-year-old Julia is very into Star Wars. She watched all the movies with her father. She's bought all in on it. Like, she's full hardcore nerd. So my sister texted me today. They did Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance today.
Okay.
My sister has no clue what anything Star Wars is. She literally just texted me. So I have no clue what any of this is, but Star Wars is very cool at night. Now, her husband, Tom, texted me earlier today pictures of where they were and what they were doing, and said, as a Star Wars nerd, I thought you would appreciate this.
Yeah.
And the pictures are great. And she's having the best time in the world.
Good.
We'll go to Star Wars in a minute. A couple really fast Marvel things first. Did you see the Nick Fury outtake from Iron Man?
I keep seeing news articles for it, but I haven't watched it yet.
So Jon Favreau had Nick Fury basically in the post-credit scene when he said Nick who? He's like, Nick Fury, motherfucker.
Yeah.
He had
played him as Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, he had him do the Samuel L. Jackson, which is pretty cool. Rumor out of Deadpool 3 is that Hugh Jackman could be playing multiple versions of Wolverine.
He played multiple versions of Wolverine and Logan too, so that's not good.
But is that how you get him in the comic suit finally?
I don't know. I don't look. I think this is going to be outside of everything else Marvel.
Yeah.
Because that if he's not going to be Wolverine going forward, and that this goes again now that they're part of the MCU, like I want the MCU's Wolverine. Like where are we going with that? Let's start telling some X-Men stories.
Right. Um,
Unfortunately, we're gonna tell the same 3 fucking X-Men stories we've told the last 20 years.
hopefully not.
No,
Hopefully,
they will. They will. They are obsessed with this Dark Phoenix saga.
well, because they haven't gotten it right yet.
No, but it's also a 45-year-old story. And there's so many other ones. I mean, don't do any of the newer ones. They're all awful.
May 1st, 2023 is the planned start of the shoot date. November 8th, 2024 is the planned release date unless they shift things around as
They
they
will.
are wont to do.
It's their new thing.
It is. Do you want to go Star Wars first, then finish with Last of Us? Since
Yeah,
that's
it's fine.
the freshest of the thing. Okay. So, the Ahsoka show is going to be a huge part of the Star Wars TV universe, building it out. They're going to build out from that show more, which is good because as much as I love seeing these characters, I want to see what else they can do.
I don't know. I'm 3 years into waiting on this damn Ahsoka show, so let's go.
Yeah.
Like, stop announcing stuff that's coming out in 3 years.
Um,
That's where I'm at.
and before we actually talk about the Mandalorian, John Favreau kind of rewrote some of the timeline by his timings of things, right? So Grogu spent 2 years training with Luke Skywalker. It's a long time in what they're doing in this little pocket of time. Right? Isn't this like
Who said he spent 2 years?
Favreau did?
Oh,
Favreau specifically said, let me see if I can find the
that
quote.
didn't feel like 2 years.
No. So this is supposed to be set after Return of the Jedi, but that being the case, this is set like according to Favreau, the Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 span many years, and then there is a 2-year gap between the Mandalorian season 2's finale and the Book of Boba Fett, in which Grogu returned to Din. That doesn't match up with what the viewer saw on screen and feels like something of a retcon.
Yeah, none of that makes sense.
None of that makes sense. That's a complete curveball in their timeline.
And
That's the truth.
well, right. And why did Jin, like, did it take him 2 years to find the armor? Is that the story we're going with?
They haven't said.
Because it wasn't even written like it had been that long, where all of a sudden Grogu was like, "Oh, hey, it's been 2 years and now I'm ready to come home."
Right. I mean,
That
maybe
doesn't even make sense.
is he maybe given a 2-year leeway because Grogu's going to have some crazy shit that he's going to be able to do? And that makes sense for, hey, I spent 2 weeks with Luke Skywalker and now I can do all of this.
Well, yeah, but Luke Skywalker spent what, like 6 hours with Yoda?
Right. That's true. That's true. All right.
Hey,
So
Bobby.
hey, Bobby, what'd you think of the 30-minute episode?
That's generous. I think it was like 28. It was good. I mean, look, it was a great intro back in. It set up everything for where this season is going to go. It didn't have too many callbacks.
No.
I mean, the stuff with Grief was great. I don't get all the IG-11 stuff, even though it was funny.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they needed that either.
It didn't make sense to me that you would need that to play out because
No.
he's talking about, I need a droid I can trust. But if we all remember back to the show, there was like 10 minutes in one episode where IG-11 was actually on his side. Other than that, it was just trying to kill,
right?
The whole time until Nick Nolte went and fixed it. So other than that, like, it makes zero sense that he wants to go there. I did see some stuff where he would this might be the end to bring Cobb Vanth onto the show.
Possibly.
Meeting a marshal, and I did enjoy how they explained away Gina Carano being gone in like half a sentence.
I was going to mention that I mean, that's good that they explain that away.
Special Forces, bye.
I enjoyed the Babu Frick. That was funny. It was cute.
Well, but was it ever Babu, or is it just his race?
It's it's supposedly Babu Frick.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. As far as we know, none of these dudes are actually Babu Frick. So it's just his race.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, especially when Grogu was messing with. Look, and still going Grogu for laughs. I think they went a little hard after it.
With the chair?
No, with all of them. I mean, the M&M was super cool.
Right, but the chair was funny.
Yeah, I mean, they kept going to that well to add like a
Pete,
lot of comedy in there.
unfortunately, she's probably not gonna come back at this point. Um, Pete hopes that Gina Carano will still come back at some point. It's
She'll
not
probably come
looking
back.
better.
She'll probably pop up on OnlyFans sometime soon, though. Pete, you
Well,
can go there.
you caught the Pure Gill, right? You caught the space whales?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a pretty awesome little scene.
yeah, that was a callback to what was that, Rebels?
That was Rebels.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of there's a lot of excuse me. There's a lot of talk about the about the way Bo-Katan was casually sitting in. It's just like that's the way she casually sits in her chair.
Well, look, it's not like she couldn't see the spaceship coming in, right?
No. So she ran over and just was like,
I don't know why else you'd be just there on the throne all day. Like,
I mean, yeah.
I think we've all gotten past the point with where we expect you know people to do that anymore. It's like, no, you would just hang out in bed. Like, you have nothing. You just you wouldn't hang out on a throne. It's weird.
Not like that, no.
No, where's your phone? What are you watching? Like, what are you?
Uh, Jimmy Kimmel's nephew was the foundling who got the Mandalorian helmet at the start of the episode.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, I totally thought the beginning was a flashback. I thought that was
Right.
really well played to pull it into how much that's grown back. Because I mean, last time we saw them, there was the armor and one dude, and that was it. I could have used more dark saber, a little more other.
I think this was just a set the table kind of a thing, and that we're going to get hopefully more meaty episodes coming up. 'Cause it's not a long
It was,
series,
but in like Boba Fett, he needed to slice a piece of bread, and he'd bust out the dark saber. And now it's
right?
like, oh well, we'll see. And
Well,
he still has the worst ship ever to be a bounty hunter.
well, is he even a bounty hunter anymore? It doesn't look like he's hunting bounties right now.
Yeah, I don't know how he's making a living now.
Well, he's got credits.
Sure.
He's got.
I mean, he seemed to have to. Maybe Boba gave him credits when he left.
There you go. He might be independently wealthy because of Boba.
He could be.
Yeah.
He could be. I'm sure. Look,
So
maybe we'll luck out and get Boba sometime this season.
oh goody. What a disappointment that turned out to be.
So much.
It really just
But I think they're working on a second season, and they're like, we're gonna fix it all. I was like, all
are
right,
they?
good for you.
Have him talk less and kill more.
Yeah. Have him not be quite so mellow.
Well, he didn't want to be as chatty as he was either. The actor.
Yeah.
Dom wants to know our thoughts on the amazing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trailer.
Ooh, I'm behind on my trailers. Then
I can honestly tell you, I have zero interest.
is this what am I missing from a TMNT?
There's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out.
Is it a movie or animated or show or?
I think it's Is it animated?
Is this the one? Because I know they recently replaced all of them after the Last Samurai with a new female turtle team.
No.
Is that what this is?
No, this is Mutant Mayhem.
Okay.
This has an all-star cast. The Turtle Brothers, as they work to earn the love of New York City while facing down an army of mutants. The cast list in this is absolutely ridiculous. Paul Rudd, Giancarlo Esposito, Rose Byrne, Jackie Chan, Seth Rogen, John Cena. Seth Rogen plays Bebop. John Cena plays Rocksteady. Jackie Chan plays Master Splinter.
Okay.
Ayo Edebri plays April O'Neil.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
I am probably. The Turtles are voiced by Brady Noon as Raphael, Nicholas Cantu is Leonardo, Shaman Brown Jr. is Michelangelo, and Micah Abbey is Donatello.
Okay.
I was never the biggest.
Is this animated?
Yes.
This is animated. Okay.
Yes. Maya Rudolph, Ice Cube, Post Malone, Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
It's a huge cast.
Okay.
For me, Jack can watch it and we'll he can comment on it next week. But I have little to no interest in anything Seth Rogen does anymore, or Teenage.
Oh, Ao is in The Bear. Got it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she was great on that show. She's also going
Yeah,
to be in Thunderbolts.
it looks like a great cast. But it just doesn't have anything like.
No, it's just it's not going to be good. It's fine.
Probably not. All right. Last topic. Unless you have anything pertinent before this.
No. I mean, I guess from a Mandalorian standpoint, like, do you how adventurous do you think we're going to get, or is it just going to be like plotting around Mandalore and then callbacks to all this history that we missed from Mandalore and the bombing and what happened to the planet, or do you think we're going to get some space adventure stuff still going?
I think it's going to be heavy on the Mandalore stuff and lead into Ahsoka.
Okay.
That's where I think this is going to go. I think this is going to be heavy on Mandalore, and then he's already got season 4 planned out. So I think it's going to be heavy on Mandalore and him helping reestablish Mandalore as a thing, and then it's going to kind of lead. You're going to get some Ahsoka tie-ins.
Do you think the mask comes off this season?
Yes, I think.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I think this is how you get Pedro Pascal off the payroll for this and just put him as a voice credit.
It's possible. I mean,
you make him have to wear the mask all the time now, and now you just leave it as the other two stunt guys, and you're good.
I mean, you could do that. He's still commanding a hefty fee for just being a voice.
No, no, it's the image, it's the likeness is what they charge for.
Ah.
Voice actors don't get paid dick.
No.
No.
Even if you're Pedro Pascal.
No.
You're the internet's daddy right now.
Yeah. He is. Speaking of that.
Segue. So, if you're not caught up on episode 8, as they call it, the penultimate episode of The Last of Us, drop off, come back, and listen to the podcast version. Listen to the whole show again, and then listen to the Last of Us stuff.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I thought it was the best episode of the season. The best episode by far of the entire season.
I agree. I've been waiting for this one. I didn't think they'd take so long to get here.
I, again, never played the game, so I had no idea any of this was coming. None.
Oh yeah, I did. This episode is also very Walking Dead. Like very like pulled straight from a couple different groups they've walked into on that show.
Yeah.
Where they had the cannibal crew at one point that they came upon that was a lot more in depth than this, but not anywhere near as creepy as this dude. I
figured that part out right away.
Yeah, when they was like, what meat's this? Oh, it's venison.
I figured that out right away.
Yeah.
But from start to finish, I was like, because I didn't really know how it was going to end. I mean, I know obviously she survived, and then watching the after the show thing answered the question that I was wondering about the whole time, because you expect the entire episode, you expect him to come burst through the door and save her.
Right.
That's how these kind of scenarios are built towards. Like, he's the hero. He's going to come in and
I'll tell you what. So in the game, as I said, this is where you're playing as Ellie.
Right.
But this is in all of the games where you have your hero that gets injured, and you have the blurry screen where you're trying to walk around and you keep blacking out for seconds.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what this part was for Joel. You cut back to Joel trying to find Ellie, and it's that where you're stumbling around and you're fading in and out, and the screen's all blurry. But you still have to fight people. That's the part of the game this was, which it totally felt like.
Oh, okay.
If you think about back to his scenes, it's like, oh, this is when you're like barely there, but you still got to beat these bad guys and get through this maze and get to this spot.
Right.
That's what this part was until you get your health back, and then all of a sudden, like, he was fine.
I don't normally sit on the edge of my seat for any of this kind of stuff. And this one, I was kind of like leaned forward a little bit, like, what the hell is going to happen? Because again, I knew she survived, but I didn't know how. Right. And that guy, I forget his name, but boy, did he play one hell of a creep.
Yeah, he was great, and so was Troy Baker as James. Which I'm telling you, look, if it hadn't been so cold all the time, and his nose hadn't had to be so red because it was literally like 10 degrees when they filmed this episode for weeks.
With fans on.
Uh, Troy Baker, I think could have pulled off Joel.
Yeah, I didn't know that was the voice actor from the game.
Yeah, he didn't do the voice from the game, but I mean, he's actually not just from the game. He's one of the most prolific voice actors of all time.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
see, I
Troy
know
Baker's like the guy.
I know, Nathan Nolan? Nathan Nolan?
Nolan North,
Nolan North,
who I
yeah.
believe is actually in the next episode.
Oh, no shit, that's awesome.
I think they are pulling him in for something.
No,
Um,
I thought this episode was fantastically done with all the beats that you needed, and, I thought it was the best episode yet.
yeah, you might know Troy Baker as he's the Arkham Knight in the Arkham Knight game.
Oh, okay.
He's Booker in BioShock.
Play that.
He's Nathan Drake's older brother Sam in the
Yep.
Uncharted games.
Yep, okay. Awesome.
He's Sherwin's on Star Trek Lower Decks.
Who?
Sherwin's?
Which one?
He's Batman in multiple things, including the new Batman Super Sons.
Oh,
He has 400 credits on his IMDb
jeez.
page.
I'll actually go look him up after we're done here in a few minutes.
Yeah, he's pretty epic as far as the guys go for voice acting, like legendary voice acting guy.
So we have one episode left. Do you think they resolve this season?
I don't think they finished the game. I've been saying that for weeks. I don't think they're going to get to the end. And if they do, it's going to be really disappointing because they're going to have to book it.
So here's a quote from Bella Ramsey. She was talking to Vogue about mostly her wardrobe. But they asked her about the finale, and she said, "The highly anticipated season finale is going to divide people massively, massively." That's all she said.
Okay.
And I've seen.
I don't think it's going to finish the game.
I've seen that in a couple different places. I think they did the same thing. I think they hedged their bet and played up to leaving you with a cliffhanger where the game they'll finish the game in season 2 and then pick up the second game.
So Dom asking a question if I feel like they're underutilizing the infected. I was thinking that at the end of this episode. I was like, for a game set and a show set in this world, and I've been telling Frank for years to try and get him to watch The Walking Dead, right? The most interesting parts of the show is not the zombies, right? It's the other people. Right. And I think they're leaning a little too heavy into that play with this because you don't, other than the second episode, you don't really get the dread of why everything went so bad, right? Because it doesn't feel like they're everywhere. And you don't, and I mean, we're removed. We're 20 years in, right? But it doesn't feel like why we would still be in quarantine zones and people would be living off the grid because it doesn't seem like it's that big of a problem anymore.
No.
Right? I think that's the only reason I would like to see more infected because it doesn't really drive the apocalyptic nature by saying that it's this huge issue still. Like in Walking Dead, like you just see them all the time, but they're not a story driver most of the time unless it's a huge herd coming from somewhere. But like they're just always there. Like they'll just pop up in the back, they kill them, and then they just go about their business.
Right. Well, we haven't had an infected. Well, I mean, we had one last episode, but they're not in every episode.
No, they've been in 3 episodes.
I personally don't have a problem with it because I hate them, but that's me.
No, I know, and that's I don't have a problem with them not being there. It just I do think that as cool as it was at the beginning, where they were trying to show us, oh, this is how it spread, and there was all these little snippets.
Mm-hmm.
They got away from that really fast.
Yeah, they did,
and without doing more world building of what happened everywhere else, and why it's as crazy as it is.
Night zombies do not give me nightmares. I find them boring and uninteresting. Although these zombies are different.
Right, and that's the
That
thing, like,
these are
I
good.
wanna know more about this mythology they built with
Yes.
these characters where, like, they hear things if you step on something, like, and to
Well,
be honest, the end of the game, also not about infected, it's about people again.
so
So,
the
like, I don't know if we get infected again this season.
the crazy guy, the crazy cannibal guy,
Yeah, the
he
preacher.
even mentioned it. Like, nobody really talked about it, but he mentioned it, and the way he described it was really, really good.
Right, which is why it'd be great, and maybe they're doing a great job at creating that sense of dread without beating you over the head with it, right?
Right.
But as somebody that also enjoys those movies, and my 3-year-old is obsessed with zombies still. We watched Attack of the Southern Fried Zombies. I learned all about kudzu the other week because
Oh,
they were spraying plant killer on kudzu and it made everybody zombies.
okay.
Yeah, whatever. But like, not getting any of that, and not delving into this new mythos that they built behind it, and like into how this transfers with pods and spores and direct contact and like all that
Right,
stuff. Like,
right.
you know, uh, I think it's a missed opportunity, and 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 I would have rather seen those 3 months them go through some of that. Just
Yeah,
an on the road episode, but when instead of that 3 month jump, like have that 3 months be one episode with like 20-minute spurts.
right. Of we're here, we had to deal with this. We're here, we had to deal with this.
One of them like having to tiptoe through a city, right? Or
Yeah,
to get around, like one of those, and then like the next one is them having to hack their way through a swarm,
right.
and like get those and get the like, oh, this is what it's like to try and survive out in the wilderness, which is what you get in the game because the game needs action, right?
Mhm.
Like this, if you're looking at the game components, they took out all of the action components except for a little bit in this episode,
Right. Well,
and it's just all cutscenes.
right.
So imagine a video game with just cutscenes. That's pretty much what we've got in most of this show.
Yeah, yeah. Um, let's see, what did Dom say? Someone said that season 2 should mostly be about Abby and her adventures, and then the finale of season 2 ends with what you know happened, so the audience will be conflicted about two stories. I don't know it enough to make a comment again because I didn't play it.
Well, so the second game is about 50-50 flashbacks.
Okay, gotcha.
So and there's some big moments that are early on in the game that are shocking moments, but then they wrap that back around by doing all these flashbacks to
Okay,
continue the story. So I wouldn't be shocked if season 2 is all of those flashbacks, like Dom's saying, and
right,
we introduce another character, and then season 3 they can go off into this other storyline that was the main part of the second game, and you get 3 seasons out of the 2 games.
right.
Because I think you can, if they do it well, they cannot finish the first game for like 2 to 3 episodes into the second season.
Gotcha.
But we'll see what they decide to do.
That's all I have.
Cool. I'm like I said, I don't have any gigs coming up this week. Maybe something will pop up Saturday, but as of right now, no. But other than that, you can see me in Barnaby's Aston on the 15th in Crossroads in Percy for St. Patty's Day. I just added about 20 more St. Patty's tunes for that gig, so it'll be almost a full night of Irish music if you want to stop out.
Ooh.
And other than that, make sure you tell a friend, stop by, drop a post. Dom, you got some big news. You want to drop that in the chat so people know where to look for you? Dom, our loyal friend of the show.
Or is he not ready yet?
I don't know. I saw a preview of it. You want to hold off and we'll open next week. You can make some announcements. Always willing to help a friend out. He's got some big stuff coming. So we will announce that next week. In the meantime, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, all those places.
There it is.
There it is. He was logging back in as Ace Avenue. So check that out.
It's a cool logo. I like
It
that.
is. So
Dom,
check him out. We will advertise with him. So we get him. We'll bring him on for an episode to talk through what his new show is going to be like in the next week or two.
absolutely.
And yeah, maybe we'll bring him on to talk some Last of Us finale next week.
Yeah.
And talk about his new show. So thanks for checking us out, and thanks for finding the Geek Spot with us as always. And we'll see you all soon.
Bye.